Lawson's looking at?
5 to 10 years, depending on the judge.
Well, better not be Judge Roping then. Probably let him off with a caution.
A robbery and wounding. Even old Ropey wouldn't dare do that.
Sergeant Roach.
Yes.
Julie Fields, CPS.
Pleased to meet you.
DC Carver, Jim.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry, but defense counsel's just informed us Lawson's not going to plead guilty after all.
What?
But he confessed.
Ah, that's just it. He's retracting the confession.
So what is it this time? Oppression or unreliable circumstances?
Both. We won't know the exact nature of the allegation until the voir dire. The trial within a trial. To see if the confession can be included in the evidence.
Yeah, but he's just trying it on.
How long is it going to take?
Could be all day.
Oh, no.
Darrell Nigel Graham Lawson, you are charged that on the 13th of October you did assault and rob a Mr. Mahendra Mirchandani of £151.33 in money, contrary to Section 8 of the Theft Act 1968. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
A voir dire?
Yeah.
Do the CPS want anyone else down there?
Anyone who had contact with Lawson while he was here, which means Roach, Carver and the custody sergeant.
And who was that?
Maitland. Oh, yeah, and the police surgeon who examined him. Lawson was recovering from an amphetamines bender when he was brought in. The doc slipped him something for his nerves, apparently.
Jim, you're spoiling my coffee.
It's the waiting I can't stand, Sarge. Well, plus the fact I don't know what we're supposed to have done.
Well, it's trial by ambush, isn't it, mate? They sucker us into saying something, then they twist our words and spring some nasty little surprise.
10 to 1 it's something to do with his drugs. He wasn't fit to be interviewed or something.
Excuse me. You're the policeman involved in this case, aren't you?
Sergeant Roach!
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm Sumita Gupta, Mr. Michandani's victim support.
Hello.
I was wondering if you could tell us what the hell is going on.
We are thinking this Lawson say guilty, but he say not guilty. The jury come in, and then the judge send all out.
Well, basically, Lawson, that's the accused, he says we got his confession out of him unfairly. We've got to convince the judge that we didn't, or we can't use the confession as evidence to the jury when the trial proper begins.
Kya keh raha hai?
Take care. And if you can't convince him?
Well, we've got no case. Just a witness who thinks he saw Lawson near the scene around the time of the crime.
Mr. Mirchandani was attacked late on the night of the 13th of October last year when a hooded man entered his late-night supermarket, threatened him with a knife, and demanded his takings. Mr. Mirchandani refused. A struggle followed, during which he sustained several knife wounds before the man made off with the contents of his till, about 150 pounds. After inquiries were made in the area, a witness came forward to say that he had seen a man of similar build to that described by Mr. Mirchandani in the vicinity of the supermarket just prior to the time that the attack took place. He later identified, from photographs, that man as Darrell Lawson. DC Carver and I arrested Lawson early on the morning of the 16th.
That's 3 days after the offense.
Yes. He was taken to Sun Hill, questioned, and eventually admitted to the crime.
Did anything unusual or out of the ordinary occur during the course of his questioning, Sergeant? Can you remember?
Not really. Except after he admitted to the offense, he asked for drugs, amphetamines. I asked him why. He said he was a heavy user and he wouldn't tell us any more until he had some.
Was this the first you knew about his drug use?
Yes.
What did you do?
I suspended the interview, informed the custody sergeant. He called a police surgeon who examined him and gave him some tranquilizers.
Tranquilizers?
He was getting a little wound up.
Then what happened?
He made a statement and was charged.
In other words, then, when Mr. Lawson made his statement confessing to the robbery, he had been passed fit to do so by the police surgeon.
Yes.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Sergeant Roach, you say that as soon as Mr. Lawson demanded drugs, you suspended the interview and informed the custody sergeant.
Yes.
There was also a 7-minute break between 8:44 and 8:51 when DC Carver left the room, it seems for some coffee.
If you say so.
I'm surprised you don't remember, Sergeant, because soon after he returned and the interview resumed, Mr. Lawson confessed to the crime.
It all happened more than 9 months ago.
Did you say anything to Mr. Lawson while DC Carver was out of the room?
No.
Nothing?
Not that I recall, no.
Are you sure, Sergeant? Because it looks very fishy, doesn't it? that Mr. Lawson should suddenly open his heart to you in return for a cup of coffee, when up to the point that D.C. Carver left the room, he'd been adamant that he had absolutely nothing to do with the robbery on October the 13th. Well, Sergeant Roach?
I'm sorry, what was the question exactly?
Because, as you so rightly said, it all happened so many months ago, I'd like to refer you to a fair summary of the interview made by D.C. Carver and a word-for-word transcription made by us and agreed by the prosecution from our copy of the tape recording of the interview.
Which document is this?
JC 1 and 2, my love.
Ah.
What would you say we are to make of Lawson's line, "I ain't saying no more till I get some stuff"?
He knew we had him in the frame for the robbery, so he decided to do a quid pro quo.
Really? I think this shows that you've done a deal in that break, and that Lawson is here afraid of giving you too much in case you don't keep your side of the bargain.
No.
Well, don't you think it's strange that he should talk about his stuff as if you knew what he meant, when he'd never referred to it before at any other time in the interview?
I didn't know what he meant. That's why I asked him what stuff.
I suggest you did that to cover your back for the tape. I suggest that sometime before this point, maybe when you searched his flat, maybe because of his behavior during the course of the interview, you realized that Darrell Lawson had a drug habit, and in the absence of any evidence against him, you decided to use that to extract a confession.
No.
I put it to you again, Sergeant. You knew Darrell Lawson needed drugs, and you used that knowledge to get what you wanted from him. Then you conspired with D.C. Carver to cover up the line that gives the game away.
No.
How do you account for it, then? I ain't saying no more till I get some stuff. If you didn't do a deal. If you didn't oppress my client. You did oppress my client, didn't you?
No.
I must remind you, Sergeant, you're under oath.
Are you calling me a liar?
No further questions, my lord?
Oh, Ted. Great. Listen, I've got the
Listen,
warrant.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Viv. We're just on a lunch break. I just came back to ask you a favor.
Oh.
You know the situation?
Yeah.
Right. It's almost certain that Lawson is going to give evidence later on. And it's just as certain his brief is going to want me out of the courtroom when he does. Now, I need some eyes and ears in the gallery when he testifies.
Why?
Why? Because if this case gets thrown out and there are allegations against us in the press, the knives are going to be out for yours truly. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
Ted, are you through at court?
No, sir. We've just adjourned for lunch.
I'd like a word.
All right, all right. All right, what? I did it, all right? Did what, Darrell? A Packy supermarket. Tell us about it. I ain't saying any more till I get some stuff.
What stuff's that, Darrell?
You know. Like sulfate. And I ain't saying no more till I get some.
A trial within a trial. Has this got anything to do with it?
It's come up.
You want to tell me about it?
Nothing to tell.
Don't jerk me around, Ted. I've been in this business long enough to develop a good nose, and there's something about this that stinks pretty high. All right, sergeants. That's the way you want to play it.
Sergeant Roach?
Oh, Mr. Merchandise, how are you?
All fine now. Doctor's very good.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
What is happening?
I'm about to find out. You wait here.
Does the CPS know? Right, OK. Thanks, sir.
What gives?
Monroe's tracked down the police surgeon on holiday in Santorini.
Can't we get her back?
Sarge, you're on.
Thanks.
The police surgeon's on holiday on a Greek island.
So?
So she can't give evidence that we couldn't possibly have known he was a speed freak when we brought him in.
Yeah, as far as I can see, that's not the issue. It's whether you said something to him during that break. Or did you?
Jim, do you think Lawson is guilty?
Yeah.
And do you think he's trying it on in there?
Of course.
So what's the problem?
Blimey, that was quick.
Well, it's like Christmas dinner, isn't it? Hours to make, over in minutes. See ya.
Because you know what it means if this case is thrown out, don't you? Another black mark in that big book called Sergeant Edward Roach, Metropolitan Police, with the emphasis on Sergeant.
Well, perhaps we should have looked harder for more evidence then.
Mr. Lawson, I have only one very simple question for you. You say you were so desperate for drugs that you freely confessed to a crime that you didn't commit.
Yes?
Well, if you knew or suspected that you would need drugs during the course of your interview, why didn't you inform the custody sergeant of your condition when you first arrived at Sun Hill?
Didn't know I could.
Didn't the sergeant tell you your rights? The right to see a solicitor, to have somebody informed of your arrest, to refer to the Police and Criminal Evidence Act codes of practice?
I can't really remember. I was a bit out of it, you know.
But not too out of it to know that Sergeant Roach shouldn't have been talking to you with his tape recorder off.
No.
No. So, despite your condition and the knowledge that you might need drugs, you ignored all the possibilities of help that were offered to you on arrival, especially a solicitor.
I was scared. I thought if they knew, you know, I was doing speed, that they'd have something to pin on me. So I was doing it when I was on a run or whatever.
And yet later you confessed.
Look, you know how they do these things. They get you all confused, wound up. And when you're in those places, you're in their hands. They can do one thing and say something totally different. So I thought, yeah, I'd make a statement. Otherwise, they'd make it all up themselves anyway. And I'd go down like all them others, the Birmingham 6, the Tottenham 3. And I didn't want to be the Sun Hill 1. Viv?
Sir?
Come in, will you? Close the door. Take a seat. Where have you been?
Out, sir.
I don't get cute with me, Martella. Either you're out on police time, in which case it's my business, or you weren't, in which case you should have asked permission, which you didn't, so it's also my business. You were seen leaving with Ted Roach.
I've been to court, sir.
What for?
I thought if Ted Roach was through in time, we could still serve the warrant on Marvellous Marv.
So why'd you leave it here? Why'd you go to court? Let me guess, Ted Roach asked you to spy for him. Hear what Lawson had to say for himself, am I right? I'm asking you a question, Martella. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You know what you've done, don't you? Hearing Lawson's testimony means that Roach would be able to alter his own testimony if it came to a full trial. You know the sort of stink that'd make if the defence found out? What it'd do to this case, to the credibility of this department, to our relationship with CPS?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you knew all that, but you still did it. Get out.
Section 76, subsection 2 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act states that where a confession is contested, the onus is on the prosecution to prove beyond reasonable doubt that it was not obtained by the oppression of the person who made it. You see, everything boils down to whom you believe. Now, to believe Mr. Lawson, one has to think that Sergeant Roach was sharp enough in the interview to work out that Lawson was dependent on drugs. Now, to believe Sergeant Roach, on the other hand, one has to overlook the statement that was brought forcibly to the attention of the court, "I ain't saying no more till I get some stuff," which, on the face of it, certainly seems to imply a prior conversation about Mr. Lawson's drug use, which was not recorded on the tape. And, of course, Mr. Lawson made his confession without a solicitor present. On balance, though, I have decided to allow the confession to stand, though I feel bound to point out, Mr. Smith, that you may find a jury rather less obliging, particularly in view of the lack of any other very substantive evidence in this case.
Spelling's getting worse, Viv. We don't want the CPS to think we're a bunch of planks, do we?
Right, Viv? It's now or never. Marvellous Marv's misappropriated motors.
Sorry, Ted. DCI. Now.
You have a problem with the rules, Sergeant Roach?
No, sir.
Because if you do, I've got a problem with you. Now, I don't know what happened in that interview, and I'm prepared to give you the benefit of the doubt. But using a fellow officer to spy for you in court, what do you think you're playing at?
What'd she say?
Forget Martella. I'm interested in you. An officer only bends the rules if he's lazy, bent himself, or to cover up a mistake. So what was it? Well, let me tell you, Sergeant Roach, mistakes I can cope with up to a point as long as you come clean with them. But laziness and corruption, I have no time for. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers. You know what really gets up my nose about this whole business? Everyone seems to forget that what we're talking about is a piece of scum who got smashed out of his brain and then stuck a knife in an old man. More than once, and then robbed him. So what if I did talk to him a bit when I shouldn't?
Did you?
What do you think? Don't give me that look, Frank. It used to be called good policing.
That was pre-Pace. What's the matter with you? You look as though you stepped in a load of dog's mess.
I just had a call from the CPS. They're dropping the case against Lawson in light of the judge's remarks.
You're joking.
Oh, dear.
If I could clarify what you've just told the court. As P.C. Milson ran out of the alleyway, you clearly saw the defendant rabbit punch it from behind on the back of the neck.
I did.
And what happened then?
The policeman went down. I don't think he even saw the man who hit him.
But that was not the end of the attack.
No, the defendant kept kicking the police officer in the head, the stomach, kicking him, punching him. He was like a madman. Then he turned round and yanked this metal post out of the ground.
And in what position was P.C. Milson when you saw his attacker yank the metal fence post out of the ground?
He was lying on the ground, groaning. As I say, he'd already been badly beaten up. He was just lying there.
Lying on the ground and badly beaten up. Mr. Ashford, did P.C. Milsom get up at this point to give chase? Or take any sort of action against his attacker?
Oh, he had no chance. By the amount he was bleeding, I thought he might be dying, to tell you the truth. He was in a terrible mess, terrible.
And could you please tell the court, Mr. Ashford, exactly what you saw next?
He turned towards me and took a swipe at me with a post. So I backed away. There's no way I could take him on. I'd already seen what he was capable of. Then he lifted the pole above his head and smashed it down on P.C. Milsom's legs. It was indescribable.
Must have been an extremely frightening and harrowing experience. But if you could continue, Mr. Ashford, and tell the court what you saw next.
Yeah. He flung down the post as he was about to run away. Then he looked at me, and he just grinned.
Grinned?
Yeah.
That came as no surprise to me, mate. I knew they never had nothing on me, so there you go. I'll tell you what, though, mate, you can write this down. Yeah. British justice is the best in the world. Yeah! Oh. Cheers, mate.
Thanks a million, Sergeant Roach.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ashford. I didn't expect it.
Well, I'm the mug who stuck his neck out and got up on the stand, didn't I? And all because you said Slater would be going down. He is a dangerous man. And guess whose guts he's going to be after next?
How'd it go?
In a word?
You're joking. What went wrong? Thought you had him stuffed.
Our eyewitness was standing 6 feet away, and the prat of a judge tells the CPS that it would be too dangerous to convict on the strength of what he saw. What sort of justice is that supposed to be?
The CPS had to withdraw. The judge would have had to have directed the jury to return a not guilty verdict. There wasn't enough supporting evidence. But we knew this might happen. So, back to business, Ted.
Under the circumstances, sir, I'd like to get in touch with Crown Prosecution and check that they haven't screwed up the evidence in Slater's GBH against Tony Hassan.
Why should they have screwed it up? It's not their fault that Slater got off.
Slater has got away with yet another assault. Now, this time he's gone and done it again on Tony Hassan whilst out on bail, which he should not have been granted in the first place. What does he have to do, kill someone?
We did object to bail, Ted.
And what difference did it make, sir? I just want to make sure that when we get Slater into court next time, we get him on the ropes and we put him down for good.
You have new evidence against David Slater?
No.
Pity.
You having some problem with the prosecution?
Well, as in the assault against P.C. Milsom, your evidence against David Slater for allegedly assaulting Tony Hassan relies heavily on a single eyewitness. It's a bit on the thin side.
I'm sorry? On the thin side?
Basically, your eyewitness is knocking on... No, he actually is 70. But he was driving past the scene, and it was night-time.
So what you're saying, Sergeant Roach, is that my brother's got a scarred face, his ribs are broken, his guts were kicked in, and you're telling us that Slater didn't do it?
Calm down, Ray. Let's just hear him out before you go flying off the handle.
I'm not saying that Slater didn't do it. As far as I'm concerned, he's guilty. What I am saying is that as things stand, we might have a bit of trouble getting the case to court and proving it.
So he might not even have to stand trial. I mean, the whole thing would just be forgotten.
Not if I've got anything to do with it. Well?
Well, the thing is, Sergeant Roach, I've been speaking to my brief.
So?
So he tells me that when I was brought in for so-called attacking that P.C. Milsom, I ought to seriously think about suing you lot for unlawful arrest.
You gotta be off your flippin' trolley, mate. Every inch of you smells of guilt.
Oh, does it? I better change my deodorant then, haven't I?
Don't you get smart with me, you little toe rag. Make my day.
Can I have a word, Ted, when you've finished?
Sir.
Temper, Sergeant Roach. Gonna get a right old telling off now, aren't you?
I'm gonna make sure that you get sent down for that assault on Tony Hassan. That's a promise.
You ain't got no evidence. Just some blind old get in a car. Won't be sending me down, mate. I'll put money on it. Anyway, I better be going, Sergeant. Got to organise the old celebration drink up, you know what I mean? Come along about 7:30, Duke of Marlborough, public bar. Should be a bit of a laugh. Oh, invite your mate if you like. He'd get legless. Oh, dear.
So why am I here, Mr. Roach?
You don't mind, do you, Mick?
I'm not wired, if that's what you think.
Yeah, well, better safe than sorry, eh? Come on, let's take a stroll.
Is this going to take long? Only I've got a wife and kid to pick up and a wine bar to run. Rushing out at a moment's notice like this.
Respectability, eh, Mick? You still remember the good old days, though, don't you? We were on different sides of the fence, but we had a sort of respect for each other, sort of code of honor. Yeah, there was justice in those days.
Yeah, well, they're long forgotten, Mr. Roach.
Yeah, these are difficult times, Mick. It's us now. The couples who are on trial, while the guilty men go free.
Come on, Mr. Roach. I don't know what you're leading up to, but I don't want to get involved in anything.
You remember the Cranley Street job, Mick?
That was 11 years ago.
You've built yourself a nice little life since then, haven't you? While your two fellow blaggers languished in Parkhurst. 9 years for armed robbery? Because you and me did a deal. Their names for your freedom. No one was interested in sending down a wheelman in those days, and now I need a favor.
For God's sake, Mr. Roach, I can't get involved. I can't.
Now, you listen here, Mick. If your old chums ever got wind of who grassed them up, I don't think I need to tell you what would happen to that person or their family. I'm telling you, I need a favor.
Yeah, but if I did help you, how do I know you won't just keep coming back and using me?
After you've done this, Mick, you'll have enough on me to see me hung, drawn, and quartered. And believe me, when this is over, I wouldn't come within 10 miles of you.
What would I have to do?
I want you to be an eyewitness. I want you to say that you saw this tow rag assault an Asian man. He's just been acquitted of crippling one of our young PCs. Now, I want you to walk into the nick.
What nick?
Any nick, it doesn't matter. Eventually, you'll be dealt with by officers at the investigating station, Sun Hill. I want you to say that you saw him attack the Asian man, and it was playing on your conscience, and you felt that you had to come forward.
Can I keep this?
Hardly. At some point, you're going to have to pick Slater out at an ID parade.
It's too dodgy, Mr. Roach. I'm a changed man.
Believe me, Mick, it'll be a cinch. And so that there's no mistake in the ID, I want you to eyeball him first.
Ow!
There's a pub in Sun Hill called the Duke of Marlborough. Have yourself a quiet evening there with a paper and a pint. You'll be in the public bar. Drinks are on me.
Can I have a word, Sarge?
Oh, yes, sir, of course.
So, where have you been all afternoon?
Out taking statements, sir.
Yeah, that's what D.I. Burnside told me. So whose statements are these?
A couple of mugging victims. It took some time.
And they couldn't come here to give the statements?
Oh, both old dears, sir. They were frightened to set foot outside their homes.
Right.
And after that, I was at the CPS.
Yeah, well, I did want to talk to you about that, but then you went AWOL. So what's the score on the Hassan case?
Not very good, sir. They say evidence is thin.
Well, that's not the shock of the century, is it? And what was David Slater doing here earlier on?
He came to rub my nose in it. In fact, all our noses. He's threatening to take out an action for unlawful arrest.
And you politely tell him to go and take a running jump?
In so many words, sir, yes.
Look, Ted, just take it easy, will you? We put him in court, the system lets him go. It's not a professional failure on our part. Don't get involved in playing games with Dave Slater.
Of course not, sir.
So what's happened? Is there something new?
I'm afraid not. I was just passing, so I thought I'd pop in and see if you had any thoughts about what I said earlier.
Not really. I've already told you everything I remember.
Oh, well.
What do you mean?
Oh, well.
We're doing our best, Mr. Hassan.
How can you just stand there and say that, eh? Look! Have a good look at him. My brother's been scarred for life and nobody seems to give a damn about it.
I said we were doing our best.
Well, if this is your best, Sergeant, then maybe we ought to do something about Slater. I'll tell you, if we get our hands on him, we'll kill him.
Ray, just shut it, eh?
For your information, Mr. Hassan, I'm as angry about this as you are.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, Slater's laughing at us. All of us. Tony's not the first one to suffer at his hands. And Slater will be down the Duke of Marlborough tonight celebrating with his friends having crippled one of my colleagues. So please don't tell me that I don't care. I'd like to see Slater nailed to the wall as much as anyone. But the problem is, I'm just a copper. I can't do a damn thing about it.
DC Morgan.
Can I have a word, Ted?
Yes, sir.
Sarge, it's for you. Someone called Mick. Wouldn't give me his last name. Shall I ask him what it's about?
I'll take the call, Ted. I can wait.
What shall I tell him?
Tell him I've got his number. I'll call him back later.
You shut the door. There was no need to put off the phone call. I'd have waited. Unless there was something you didn't want me to hear.
It was just a mechanic, sir, phoning about my car.
Oh, you having trouble, are you?
No, not really. Just a routine check.
All right.
Look, sir, what is all this suspicion? I can't even take my car to the garage without being interrogated?
All right, Ted, let's start again, shall we? I've got a sneaking suspicion that something's going down.
I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about, sir.
Look, Ted, you're a good officer. You've been in this job over 20 years. You're a mainstay of the Sun Hill CID. So what is it that's bugging you?
Nothing's bugging me.
It's not Slater.
He annoys me, yes.
Look, Ted, everyone in this station and every copper up and down the country gets the hump about what happens to officers like Nick Milsom. But we have to live with it. You've seen it all before.
Yes, sir. On more occasions than I care to remember.
So forget Slater.
He should have been put behind bars.
That's as may be. But in this job, we can't afford to let our hearts rule our heads. If we did, we'd all end up going over the edge.
Night, Ted.
Doing an all-nighter, Ted?
Glued to the chair, Gov.
Yeah? Well, why don't you call it a day? You're not on overtime. Knock it on the head and come and have some lubrication.
Well, thanks all the same, Frank, but I better get these reports done, otherwise I'll have the Fuhrer on my back again.
All right. I'll leave you to it then.
Good night, Gov.
See ya.
Mick, it's Ted Roach. What the hell were you doing calling me at the Nick? Now look, we made an agreement and I'm telling you, you blow me out on this and I will do exactly what I said. So you make sure that you're in the Duke of Marlborough tonight. Oh, and Mick, don't let me down now, eh?
No rest for the wicked, eh, Ted?
No, sir.
Well, I'll bid you good night. You'll have those finished by tomorrow morning, will you?
Oh, no problem, sir. I won't rest until I've crossed every T and dotted every I.
All right. Good night.
Good night, sir.
All right, Ted? Oh. And Slater wriggled off the hook again.
So?
So, we're disappointed. We thought you were going to get a result this time.
Oh, did you? Well, don't whine at me, Bob. Talk to the judge about it.
I'm not whining. We're just all disappointed, that's all.
Yeah, well, who isn't? Oh, by the way, if you're interested, Slater will be down to Duke of Marlborough tonight having a beano with his mates. So you'll more want to keep their eyes peeled.
Right, Ted. Will do.
Scotch, please, mate. I'll make the last one.
Who's the guy? £2.60, please, mate.
Governor. Yes. Get me, Nigel.
What's up?
160, please. Cheers.
2 cokes, please.
5 pints of soup.
5 chasers.
It's a celebration.
Right.
Coming out of the way, I've got to have a slag. I ain't spudding. Spudding.
Wait, where are you going?
Where do you think I'm going?
Just leave it.
What do you mean, just leave it?
Thought I'd take you up on your offer.
What are you on about?
You said you were going to buy me a drink.
You can't be joking, mate. Buy you a drink?
What about doing a deal instead?
I wouldn't do a deal with a filth even if my mother's life depended on it.
How about your own life? Come with me to Sun Hill and give me a confession that you assaulted Mr. Hassan.
Or what? What you gonna do? Hit me? Come on, son, have a go.
Nah, I'm not going to hit you, David.
Don't call me David. Pig.
I'll put in a good word for you with the Crown prosecution.
You do what you like, mate.
Because someone came forward, David. Someone who heard you bragging about your attack on Mr. Hassan. And he's going to testify against you in court.
Now, you know I'm doing you for unlawful arrest. You know I think I'll add police harassment to that list. Get stuffed.
Don't you want to know who's going to testify against you?
Now, who'd be stupid enough to stand up and say that against me, eh?
Someone you might have said too much in front of.
No, it's a load of bull, mate.
Someone you know. Someone you hang around with, perhaps.
I don't think so.
Someone who might like to see you put out of the way so he could step into your shoes. You think about it, David.
Yeah, and you think about lawsuits and all, pig.
Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 2.
Go ahead.
Duke of Marlborough, Sarge. No sign of any trouble. It's as quiet as a grave.
Right, everyone want a drink? Everyone? 5 pints, please. Wait.
Who are you looking at?
Dunno, there's no label on it.
Push off, mate.
Do you know me? Maybe you recognise my brother.
No, who's he? Imran Khan?
You don't recognise the scar?
No, I've told you boys, push off, all right? I'm going to tell you again. Right, forget it.
Wait. Come on, let's. I don't want any trouble in here.
No bother here, mate.
Right, come on, mate. Let's go and sit down. Leave it. No. Come on, sit down! Now. Just leave it. Leave it. Cheers, mate. Keep the change.
Who's shot, Dave?
Who's moved the balls? Hey? Who moved the balls? Don't prat around when you're playing with me, all right?
It's just a laugh, Dave.
Yeah? I don't see the joke. Anyone see the joke, eh? See, we don't think you're very funny, Nigel, Mr. Motormouth.
It was just a joke, all right?
Yeah? What other jokes you been telling then, Nigel?
I don't know what you're on about.
No? The filth. You talking to the filth! That's what I'm on about, my son. You try to grass me up.
I don't know what you're on about.
No? Well, this is what I'm on about.
Don't bother, mate. Dial 999, ambulance and police. Right.
Hey! Slater! Slater!
David Slater, I'm arresting you for assault. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? I'll take that as a yes. Did everyone see what happened?
Yeah.
Right, you stay exactly where you are. I'll need you all as witnesses.
Which?
Yeah.
Morning.
Ted, in here. Shut the door. So what are you playing at?
I'm sorry, sir?
Look, don't get smart with me, Ted. Just what the hell were you up to last night?
Popped out for a drink.
Some drink. Tony Hassan, his brother, some ex-con called Mick Crombie, just happened to be there to help you nick Dave Slater, did they? Well, can you explain how they came to be there?
Coincidence?
Now, you listen up, Ted. I don't know what you were trying to fix up last night, but as a result, there's another lad lying in hospital. Now, I can't prove anything against you, not even a disciplinary offence. But by hell, you've marked your card with me.
I nicked Slater fair and square, sir, in front of a pub full of witnesses. Now, he's not walking away from this one unscathed.
You're right about that, Ted. But maybe the reputation of the CID round here isn't unscathed either. But I don't suppose that entered your head, did it? Our job is to nick villains, but we nick them straight, by the book, or not at all.
Thank God they're killing each other.
You're the landlord.
What's that?
Come on, off it.
Lads.
Sarge.
Mark, can you hear me?
Sarge?
Please.
You mean
speak
he's a
to me.
copper?
Mark,
Okay, love.
I do know what I'm doing. I'm on the job too, you know.
Want us to nick him, Sarge, or what?
What I want you to do, Tony, is to go away and pretend you've never seen me, okay?
He's gonna need an ambulance, you know. Sierra Oscar from 340.
Go ahead, Dave.
Ambulance needed, The Hope, Breen Lane. 1 IC1 male, unconscious. Possible head injuries.
Understood. So what happened then, Sarge?
Mind your own business.
He lost his temper, that's what happened.
Monroe?
Yeah, he asked it to stay till he gets here.
I'm supposed to be somewhere at 5.
I'd better go with this Leonard geezer, son. Sort out the rest when we get back at the Nick, eh? You be all right?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks a million.
Oh, come on, Sarge. He's duty officer. What else could I do?
So what's all this about Ted, Frank?
Word gets around quick. I've only just heard myself. Andrew Monroe and Boyden have gone down there.
Now, he was supposed to be meeting us now, wasn't he, about this post office raid?
Yeah, Eddie Backus.
Well, as soon as you know what's happened, let me know, will you? And if there's any mess, we clear it up. Not uniform, right?
You give us a call? Yes.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Thank you. Ted? Tony?
Sir.
Matthew's driving you back to Sun Hill, Ted, so if you can give him your car keys. Off you go, then.
That it, then? One of your blokes kicks in some geezer's head and just walks away?
I can assure you, Mr. Payton, no one is walking away from anything.
Not the geezer in hospital, anyhow.
Witnesses, Tony?
Dave's got the names and addresses, sir. Though we thought Miss Bright should stay on and have a word.
I hope she was worth it, Ted.
So, WPC Bright, isn't it? Station?
Hoxton, sir.
Well, WPC Bright, perhaps you could tell me what's been going on here.
Well, sir, Ted and I have been going out together for a couple of months. We met in an interviewing course. Mark, the other fella, he was my fiancé at the time. We'd been going through a bit of a bad patch. Mainly because of the job. He runs a building firm, you see. Not quite the same, is it? Anyway, it was fun with Ted for a while. He understood, you know, about work and everything. But I soon realised it wasn't going to go anywhere, and I was beginning to think I'd made a big mistake with Mark. That maybe we should get back together. Anyway, I'm almost sure Ted's got someone else in the go. So, well, basically I decided to call it a day.
So, what happened?
We met. I told him. He wasn't thrilled, but he seemed okay, you know. Then Mark appeared. I don't know how he knew I was here. He and Ted had words, and then all of a sudden Ted seemed to flip. Thought we'd set the whole thing up or something, that we were laughing at him. Oh, I don't know.
In your opinion, then, who actually started the fight?
Oh, sorry, sir, I really couldn't say.
Now what?
Dunno. Wait for Monroe, I suppose.
You've arrived, then. Matt?
I'll be outside.
If you were both going to split and she was going back to him, why the fight?
Self-defense on my part.
How many times do you have to kick him in self-defense?
I'm telling the truth. Obviously, if I knew what was going to happen, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
I'll tell you what I think, Ted. I think it's a load of cobblers. And I'll tell you something else. I'm getting a bit hacked off with having to duck and dive to pull your conkers out of the fire all the time.
Oh, really? I thought things between us were strictly quid pro quo.
Look, I'll do what I can. But you're in it up to your neck this time, in case you hadn't noticed. I mean, drinking on duty, telling porkies to the DCI, bringing the service into disrepute, etc., etc. And that's just if Leonard doesn't decide to press charges for GBH or assault or whatever. In which case you're looking at MS-15, possible suspension, the big house maybe. And if you're convicted, well, goodbye DS Roach.
Oh, and that won't look so good for you, will it, Frank? Failure to supervise and all that.
Now, wait a minute. You lied about where you were going.
If only MS-15 saw things that clearly.
Don't start playing that game with me, Ted. You'll lose.
Do you want my advice?
No.
Get your retaliation in first. As soon as he comes round, hit him with an assault charge. ABH. Muddy the waters a bit, eh?
Oh, you'd know all about that, wouldn't you, Matt? Things I could tell him about you. Tell them White upstairs.
Listen, mate, you want to watch your big mouth? Because right now you're going to need all the friends you can get. Right, Ted. So, how much had you had?
I told you I had a drink. A couple of drinks. Whiskey.
Well, no doubt MS-15 will look at that more closely if they have to. Not good, but not fatal. And what about the fight?
What about it?
You put a man in hospital, Ted, over a woman, apparently. I don't need to spell out what'll happen to your job prospects if he brings charges, so tell me about it. How did it start?
I can't remember.
Try, Sergeant. Selective amnesia won't wash with MS-15, and it doesn't with me.
I was having a quiet drink with Miss Bright. We were having a serious discussion about our future when this Leonard appeared and started being abusive. Inspector.
In what way?
Verbally.
And what did he say?
I can't remember exactly, Inspector. But to tell you the truth, he was getting right up my nose. Do you know what I mean?
So you hit him?
Only in retaliation.
2 witnesses say otherwise.
Well, they were wrong. As a matter of fact, when Leonard wakes up, I want him done with assault.
I'll bet you would.
I'm sorry to disturb you, sir. Dave Quinn has just been on from St Hugh's. Leonard's still unconscious. They're giving him a brain scan now.
Thank you, June. Well, Sergeant, let's hope assault's about as serious as this thing gets. Mr. Leonard? D.I. Burnside, Sun Hill Police.
You got him. Who did this?
Who's that then, Mr. Leonard?
One of your mates. Roach.
You sure about that, are you?
Of course I'm sure. He's not getting out of it either.
Oh, excuse me, I was looking for Inspector Monroe.
He's round here somewhere, June.
Yeah, well, if you see him, could you tell him that we've heard from the hospital? It sounds like Leonard's off the danger list.
So he's okay?
Apart from a fractured cheekbone, stitches, bruising. Yeah, he's right as rain.
Okay, cheers. I want to see Monroe.
What for?
It's between him and me.
Sorry. I don't know if you noticed, but his office is empty. And I'm not sending some poor PC traipsing around the nick unless I think it's worth it.
I've got to be somewhere at 5.
You must be joking. Monroe won't let you out of here till this is sorted.
I am not arguing the toss with you. I want to see Monroe.
Should be good. What is it? Another bimbo? Edward. Unbelievable. Steve?
No way. I want him charged. I don't give a toss about his career.
Except that when bad uns like Roach go down, they have a nasty habit of taking good uns with them. Lisa Bright's in the frame and all.
She didn't do anything.
Well, it's not fair, I know. But the Met's like that. She'd probably find herself up before area complaints if you go ahead. Bringing the force into disrepute. Not a good mark to have against her at the start of a promising career.
Hi, is he?
He's trying to decide whether to press charges.
Well, couldn't blame him if he did.
Yeah, but he's worried about what that might mean to you. Bringing the force into disrepute, area complaints, all that grief. Difficult one. You wanted to see me, Sergeant?
Alone, if that's all right.
Matthew?
I hear Leonard's going to be okay.
So it seems.
In that case, if it's all right with you and the DI, I'd like permission to leave.
What?
I know it's not strictly kosher, but even if Leonard does stick his neck out and press charges, it isn't worth getting MS-15 down tonight, is it?
Well, that's hardly up to you.
I know, but I'm asking you as a favour. There's nothing that can't wait until tomorrow, is there? And it's not as if I'm likely to abscond.
Frankly, Sergeant, I've no idea what you're likely to do, given your record. What's your reason?
I've got an appointment.
What sort of appointment?
A personal sort of appointment.
A woman?
I said it's personal, but it is important.
Well, sorry, no.
There is no point in me hanging about here for nothing. Look, even if Leonard wants to press charges, you don't have to call MS-15 straight away. That's all I'm saying. You can say we're making sure he wasn't spinning a line.
Can I? Well, thanks for telling me my job, Sergeant, but the answer's still no.
Why?
Why? Because I said so.
You've got no good reason and you know it.
I've got every good reason. Quite apart from you trying to kick Leonard's head in.
I didn't.
I'm duty-bound to contact MS-15 immediately he wants to proceed against you.
But it was self-defence.
In a pig's ear. Look, so far I've leant over backwards for you. You've not been arrested, you've not been reported, and there is nothing on paper. So do me a favour, Sergeant, and act like a grown-up for once.
Grown-up?
Hey, what's going on?
Shh. Only I always thought it was little boys who needed uniforms with shiny buttons to make them feel big. Inspector.
Really gets you, doesn't it? Stuck at Sergeant forever.
I want to leave.
Tough.
Stop me.
You really are pathetic. Sergeant Boyden. Sergeant Roach, I'm reporting you for striking a senior officer. Sergeant Boyden, you are the formal witness. Please keep him here while I inform Mr. Brownlow and MS-15.
Yes, sir.
Haven't you lot got work to do?
Are you on self-destruct or what?
I'll make sure it gets passed on. A message from D.I. Burnside for Mr. Monroe. Mark Leonard will not be pressing charges, apparently.
Bit academic now, I would have thought.
He what? Thumped him? Why?
Well, you know Ted. Thing is, Monroe's reported him to Brownlow.
You're joking.
Well, he hit him pretty hard by all accounts.
Andrew, how is it?
Go. The chief super wants to see you. Now.
Right.
You okay, sir?
Yes. Thank you, Dave. Andrew. Not interested, Frank. Can throw the book at him for all I care. And will, I hope.
I am sick of you. And tired. And when MS-15 get here, I'm going to bring every misdemeanor, every complaint, however trivial, proven or not, everything since you first graced us with your presence here at Sun Hill to their attention. In the old days, you'd have been busted down to PC and back on the beat before you could blink your eye. But in these enlightened times, we in uniform consider that if you're not good enough for CID, then you're not good enough for us either. Believe me, Sergeant, by the time MS-15 have finished with you, you'll be lucky to be a DC pushing paper around the crime desk.
It's Frank, sir.
Tell him to wait.
I'll resign.
Oh, no, you won't, Sergeant. The days when our undesirables could slither off into some dark corner are over, almost. MS-15 are going to take you every inch of the way if I have anything to do with it. Oh, and as for Mr. Leonard, I'm not sure how you managed to swing things with him. But I intend to see him personally and point out to him all the options that are open to him. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Because I wouldn't want there to be any misunderstanding about exactly where you stand in my esteem, Sergeant. I want you to stay with Sergeant Roach until MS-15 arrive. You're not to let him out of your sight, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I mean, what was I thinking of? Hitting him? Nothing. No. No, I know. I hate him. I hate his guts. I hate everything he stands for with his pace and his plus and his statements of purpose and his smiling at the punters and his have a nice day.
All right, easy, Ted.
I mean, when was the last time he ever nicked anybody, eh? A real villain. When was the last time he ever put himself on the line, eh?
Hey, listen to me! You've got to get hold of yourself, quick! Otherwise it won't be MS-15 coming for you, it'll be the boys from the funny farm!
What's the suit?
All right. Now look, this is still salvageable. Oh. Leonard is not going to press charges.
But Brownlow already
Stuff
said...
Brownlow. I know this for a fact. Lisa Bright does not want to get covered in manure over this. She's persuaded him, believe me. So, what are you looking at? Conduct unbecoming? Disrepute? Drinking on duty?
Oh, is that all?
Oh, come on, Ted. You and I both know blokes have got out of far worse. Monroe's your main problem.
No wonder you made the eye.
Now listen, you ungrateful bastard. Do you want me to help you or not?
Yeah.
Good. Now, the way I see it, the only way out of this is to apologise.
To Monroe, you are your mind?
Only way, Ted.
But he's already reported it. It's too late, Frank. MS-15 are on their way.
Mitigation. That's all I'm talking. And the long view. Mind you, this whole thing depends on how much you want to keep your job.
MS-15 give any indication when they might be here?
Well, as soon as possible, they said.
And I was going to the theatre tonight.
There you go, Gov.
Cheers.
What do you reckon?
It'll be all right. Early days yet.
Okay, Frank. Let's do it.
Phase one. I'm glad you've seen sense, Ted. Now, I know Brownlow said I'm not to let you out of my sight, but I'm prepared to cut you a bit of slack on this one. On one condition.
What?
That you don't do anything stupid. No more punches and don't run away.
Where would I go?
Good luck.
I don't need an audience, Frank.
I'll be on the stairs.
Yes?
You wanted to see me about something, Sergeant?
No, not at all.
What was that about, Ted? Ted! You can't bottle out.
I'm not bottling out.
What then?
It's not worth it.
What do you mean it's not worth it? It's your only chance. And where the hell do you think you're going?
Sick.
You're not sick.
I am, Frank. Of this place, the job, everything. Even you. Look around. This is not the job I joined. You joined. Brown knows a creep like Monroe to stay here? You must be joking.
Well, you're not leaving till MS-15 get here.
They know where I am.
That's an order.
Shove it. Oh, by the way, don't bother with the party.